It was stressful at the time, but in retrospect, kind of funny. I mean,
fair enough.
Imagine this: you round the corner into the toddler room, and you see your toddler on the floor of the room in the middle of the night, like, what just happened? Oh dear God, what is happening?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Baby Steps. You know, we appreciate all the feedback that you guys are giving us. And
yeah, we got a lot of stories, a lot of 5-star reviews.
A lot of stories, a lot of questions. But today, I think we should talk a little bit about what is going on this week.
Week 25.
Week 25, 25 weeks pregnant.
A lot of things are happening.
But we're also... So I'm an interior designer. I don't know if that is something that everybody knows.
You do now.
But you do now. And so I'm constantly changing up the furniture in our house.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you might notice that we're recording it somewhere different than our very cute, meticulously planned bedroom. I'm against a back wall. I'm against a blank white wall. I look like I'm in a warehouse. It's not a warehouse. It's not a warehouse.
It's our very cute guest house.
Yes, it's true. Ariel's frame looks very cute. We as like the second we finished the guest house renovation, Ariel in her pregnancy renovation hormones. Is there a specific like renovation hormone or like a nesting hormone that just is like, let me rearrange furniture?
I think that's just who I am. You know that. You know that. But it does seem to be particularly strong when I am pregnant.
It intensifies.
It intensifies when I'm pregnant.
If we did a blood test, it would be like move things hormone.
Well,
renovesterone.
That's a good one.
But like, yeah, our bedroom has all of the contents of our bathroom strewn about it, organized nicely. We
have had an ongoing leak since we built our house 2 years ago.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
And the leak needed to be fixed.
We also had sinks that worked perfectly well.
It coincided with I bought a new vanity for our bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
The vanity came right when they finished the guest house, and I was like, perfect timing. Just go to our bathroom now, and you can switch that out and fix the ceiling, and also move some wiring around, and change the lighting fixtures, and that's it. But then also maybe you could take a look at the other bathroom because that tub needs to be reglazed. It does. Have you seen it? It bothers me every time.
Bath in it every night just fine. Yeah.
There's a difference between
I didn't even know reglazing a tub was a thing a person could do. I thought bathtubs were just bathtubs.
Well, yeah. How do you think they get so white and pretty?
I thought they did that at the factory.
Well, they do, but then that tub is 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 100-year-old, heavy...
It is true, actually.
Steel tub in there.
It's literally 100 years old.
It's a very, very old tub. And they tried as hard as they could the first go-around, the first renovation, to scrub off all the old bits, because there used to be a glass shower door in there. We took that out, but there's still a line across the front of it where that glass shower door used to be, and it bothers me all the time.
Never noticed.
Bothers me all the time. See, this
sounds horrible for you.
I swear I said I've never noticed it to something that you said the other day.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
What was it?
I'll think of it by the end.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it was the sound of the air purifier. I have 20 air purifiers going in our house because we never leave our homes.
Perfectly high pitched, and I'm sitting there minding my bagel, and I'm like, why do I feel tense all of a sudden? It's because this air purifier is out there.
It's like a dog whistle to you.
High-pitched hissing
weird.
sound.
It is so weird. I don't even hear it. And it actually, when I do hear it, it brings me a little bit of comfort knowing that it's
taking
functioning
out
in the
LA
background.
Smog air. Not great for babies.
The LA smog air,
LA
sure,
smog air.
Yeah.
We've got one of those, smog tester things in the nursery.
Mm-hmm.
It
gets bad.
It gets bad sometimes. It gets bad. The ppms are up there.
Yeah. Anywho, so we're out here because they're doing stuff in there.
You're nesting.
I am nesting.
It's
I am
wonderful.
nesting. Yes.
It's beautiful. Rearranging furniture. And also, since you're not able to lift things, it's me doing the heavy
That
lifting,
certainly
which is
makes
nice.
it difficult.
I've been able to get my swole on, get some exercise.
Well,
I do not know where to brush my teeth.
Well, it'll be done this afternoon. It's a 2-day process. It's not like you've had to use the other bathroom for like more than a day.
Right.
I think you'll manage.
I know. My cross to bear.
Yes.
My cross to bear.
And by the time baby number 2 comes, everything will be done.
That's true. I think that's where that nesting instinct comes from, right?
I'm sure.
You want to prepare. You want to make things ready. You want to make things perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Baby number 2.
Oh, things were not perfect for baby number 1. Absolutely not. Do you remember where we were during?
You gave birth in a construction zone.
Well, not literally.
2x4. I had to wear a hard hat. No. We thought due dates were like set in stone,
Well, we didn't think that. You just assumed that due dates were set in stone because we didn't know anything better. I knew that they were flexible, but based on the experience that my family has had, I just assumed I was going to be late.
Right. You were like, oh, my family, we always deliver late, darling.
Right. The babies it's so comfortable in there. They like to stay inside.
The Vanderboards create a very comfortable cave.
That's right.
Cabin.
My sister and I both came out, like 2 weeks late or something like that.
That's late.
It was late. It was late. We were big old babies, like probably upwards of, I don't know, 8 to 10 pounds or something like that.
$1.50 soaking wet.
$1.50 No, soaking wet means that.
Well, you were soaking wet, but
that's fair.
Yeah, it means you're on the lighter end.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. It was rough. We planned, so we were nesting, right? We were gonna move into this new house. We were renovating it. We were building a whole second wing. No, we were just you
could call it a wing, but our house is like under 2,000 square feet.
Our master bedroom we tore down to the ground and we're rebuilding it.
We rebuilt
because it was like it was 100 years old. Yeah, not good. Actually, that one was only 50 years old, but it was like maybe in the 60s, even worse.
It was even worse than the 100-year-old
sitting on a concrete slab, a glorified garage.
Yes.
Anyways, we planned everything around the due date. We're like, okay, we'll move in here. We'll organize the nursery here. Like 3 weeks out, move in. 2 weeks out, put the finishing touches on the paint. 1 week out, all the furniture will be in, and we'll set the stuffed animals right in place. Lights, action, showtime, baby! Perfect homecoming.
Yeah,
flawless. Everyone sleeps great.
We even planned the baby shower so that, because baby showers traditionally people get all these gifts, and so we were like, okay, well, we'll definitely have all the stuff that we need after the baby shower, and then anything that we're missing, we'll just get it the week after, and we'll move it all into the new house, and everything will be great.
The baby came 4 days after the baby shower.
We were still living in our old house.
We were completely surprised. We're caught with our pants down.
We had literally taken all of the gifts from the baby shower and shoved them in a corner or in a box in our new house, thinking these are for the baby. We will put them in the new house.
I hadn't read any of the baby books because I was like, I still got time. I got a month. Cramming has worked for me thus far in life. We'll just cram some more night before the exam. Just dive in deep into the baby books. Boom. Perfect father in 24 hours. No, that's not how it worked. So then with all of this upheaval, we're having to move into the house, there was like a plywood sheet connecting the part of the house that was finished from the part that was still under construction.
Right.
Ariel's breastfeeding while contractors coming by like, hello, how you doing? Missy?
Morning.
Things banging at all hours of the day, waking up naps. Well, at all hours during the day.
Yes.
But the baby sleeps a lot during the day.
Yeah. Well, Wes was premature, so he slept for like probably 90% of the time.
Yeah, it was chaos.
It was chaos. It was utter chaos. And honestly, what is happening in our house right now is
nothing.
Wow,
we're joking. We're making some lols about nesting, but this is easy, no problem.
Oh man, you know, I look back on that time and I think how stressed I was, but I look at it. But like, you know, you look back and you think, I'm kind of glad we went through that, because now, you know, we have a leak, and I'm like, oh, that's too bad. I guess we'll have to get that fixed. You know, it's not this huge, like, oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Well, yeah. But also the leaks during that time were like,
they were bad.
Full on. There was one morning we woke up and we're like, why does it sound like it's raining inside the house? It's because it was raining inside the house.
They literally hadn't put the cover on the vent over the stove.
So there was rain pouring down onto the stove from the vent because it was just like...
It's just open.
It was open.
Oh, man. Yeah, I remember that. Well, we talked a little bit about this the other day, but we've created an entirely new room for Wes.
Right. Big change. I mean, we were talking about how we adapt to changes, but he's only 2. I mean, that's a...
Wesley 2.
Wesley's 2.
That's what he says when we say that he's a big boy. He says Wesley 2.
Yeah. It's been tough to prepare Wes for those big changes.
Absolutely. Yeah, but he's dealt with it great. I think maybe we could have prepared him a little bit better for those changes. Switching his room was a huge change.
It was, and kind of disastrous.
We talked about his big boy bed a little bit in the last episode.
But today's episode is all about sleep.
Yes.
So we'll touch on it a bit more, and we'll also talk about sleep training, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, sleep is a huge, huge topic when it comes to kiddos.
The first night we just said, okay, now you have a new room. It's like we got the bookshelves in. Your dad made sure that they were in so tight that they were completely toddler proof, like a toddler could just
literally
climb on it and
like
not rip them off. And the bed was all ready, so we said, okay, well, this will be the night where we switch you out from a crib into a toddler bed. And
we knew that we had to switch him from the crib to the toddler bed soon, because the recommendations are that you switch a toddler before the new baby comes.
Yeah.
Because...
And he was a couple times he put his leg up there thinking that he was going to crawl out of it.
Out of his crib?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always makes me a little nervous. He's getting big enough to the point where if he really wanted to,
yes,
he could jump out of it.
He could have climbed out of his crib. We never had him actually climb out of his crib. I was never that worried about it.
Boy doesn't have a death wish yet.
No. But yeah, we just decided that it was time to move
Big deal.
him.
Big mistake. Maybe not a mistake, but oh man, we were not prepared.
Yeah.
We get him, like, we follow our normal bedtime routine. We have a luxurious lavender bubble bath. We read books. We read Cars and Trucks and Things That Go and Curious George. All the hits. All favorites.
All the hits.
We read Goodnight, Goodnight, Construction Site 20 times.
You can tell he's our child. And he grew up in a construction site.
And
because all he wants to do is trucks and drills.
He's very calm. We're doing our normal thing. He's cuddling with daddy. And then I go to leave and I say, okay, time for sleep. And he just looks at me and he's like, no, not like this.
I know. I was not expecting that.
What do you mean?
Remember when we had him in his old room and we put the toddler rail on the crib?
He loved it. Thought it was so fun.
He fell asleep great.
Yeah.
The only problem was that he fell out of bed in the middle of the night.
That was, it was stressful at the time, but in retrospect, kind of funny.
Well,
I mean,
fair enough.
Imagine this. You round the corner into the toddler room and you see your toddler on the floor of the room in the middle of the night like, what just happened? oh dear God, what is happening? He was just kind of like,
He was just confused.
Oh, no.
He was so confused.
Yeah, I mean, not good. And we put the rail back up the next night because I felt really bad.
I felt so much guilt that he had fallen out of bed that we just immediately put it back.
He rolled out.
He rolled
he
out.
didn't
I
fall.
know.
I mean, it's like falling implies you hit the ground, which he did.
He definitely hit the ground.
He definitely hit the ground. But I think there was some I kind of like to imagine that he kind of like caught himself and like gently pranced on both paws.
He was fast asleep.
Yeah.
He was like half asleep when you walked in and he was standing up.
Yeah.
No.
I just imagine myself in that situation. If like I suddenly fell out of bed,
Oh,
I would be like,
you think you would
why
have-
am I on the floor?
And you think you would have the wherewithal to like put your hands out and not hit your head?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. Superman over here.
Something you may not know about me. I have a particular set of skills. Cat-like reflexes. From 12 midnight to 4 a.m.
But
Yeah.
11:59, you're like,
11:59, I'm a total klutz. Oh, brother.
yes. So we switched him to this new bed, which is
Freaking out.
it's a great bed. It's a toddler bed so a twin size bed with rails all the way around and just maybe like a 2-foot gap.
Yeah. Kind of like a ladder in a submarine. Not much space in submarines.
I guess I've never really been in a submarine, so
yeah.
I have no frame of
Me
reference
neither.
for what
Just
you're talking
movies
about.
is kind of what I'm thinking.
Cool. All right.
But it's like tight, it's not like a wide
I think
gap.
everybody knows what 2 feet
Kind of like clambers
feels
up.
like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
International viewers might be on the metric system.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah.
About a half meter.
It's about a half a meter. But yeah, so the first night was bad.
Yeah, and we
Really
had
bad.
to. It had been a year before since we had done any sort of sleep training or dealt with the kind of like early baby. This is how you fall asleep in the middle of the night thing. So it kind of like was like rewinded it all back of like, oh, how do we do this again? How do we make him comfortable in his new environment?
And I mean, and can we do
Right.
those things? Like,
I took the
so let's just rewind this all the way back.
All the way back to
We-
2018.
We did a lot of research on sleep,
Yeah.
on sleep training, on sleep teaching.
We're going to break down a couple of books for you.
Well, yeah, because that's kind of where Ned and I have no experience with kiddos.
Save you the time of reading them.
I don't know about that, but sure.
This is an executive summary. Can we do it in a haiku? It's like a 575 of each book.
Sure.
Okay.
You can do that.
I shall do that.
Okay. All right. So what do you want to start with? Should we let's start with the first book that I read, which was Happiest Baby.
Happiest Baby on the Block.
Yes. So
There are 5 S's. Please. Oh no, I don't remember the 5 S's.
oh no, you don't remember the 5 S's?
Shave, sleep, shower, shit. No, that's what you do after a camping trip.
That was only 4, by the way.
Shushing,
Yes.
swaying. What are the 5? I'm not ready for baby number 2. I'm
You're
a horrible
so not
parent.
ready. You are not ready.
This is the number 1 sleep training book that everyone reads.
Well, it's popular right now.
Yeah,
It's-
all of my friends were talking. All my dad friends. We have a text thread called Dads. We do actually.
So Happiest Baby on the Block was very popular when we had Wes. It's still very popular, arguably. Harvey Karp from UCLA wrote it. And he is also the creator of the Snoo, which is a very buzzy product that Ned and I are debating. We have never used it. We know a few people that have used it.
I've heard only bad things.
I have heard good things. And but okay, so the number one thing that makes this product
I got it.
like nuts is that it is $1,400.
What?
You didn't know that?
No, we definitely don't need it.
It's a $1,400 bassinet.
Jesus.
Called the Snoo.
Oh my God.
Okay, give me those 5 S's.
All right. So here's my haiku. Take 2 on the haiku. Take haiku. We'll workshop it. Happiest baby on the block. Is it syllables or words?
Oh my gosh. Just do it.
Okay. The happiest baby.
Why don't you just talk like a normal person?
No. We can do it. It'll be poetic. Happy baby block. Swaddle, side stomach, shush, swing. Suck. Don't suck. Book's great. Oh, wow. Thank you.
That was excellent. That was
4
excellent.
years of college right there.
Yeah. And lots of school before that.
Yeah, so clearly it made an impact on me. Deep impact.
Because you don't even remember. No, okay, I think actually that was the great thing about that book.
Yeah.
Is that the advice in Happiest Baby is very straightforward advice. It is just stuff that people who've grown up around babies just know. You know, you know that you swaddle a baby to make them more comfortable. I
did not.
Well, see, that's the thing is we did not.
Know.
We did not grow up around kids. We had no experience with newborns. Mm-hmm. So this book was amazing for us because we didn't know any of these things.
Right.
So
and I didn't even read it.
Exactly.
I just read the 1-page executive summary, which actually is all you need to read. So spoiler alert.
Arguably.
Buy the book, skip to the summary.
Yeah. Just learn those 5 S's. I mean, it's an easy read. It's an easy read. I do recommend it if you have time. Because there's a lot of there is a fair amount of other stuff in there, but it's those 5 S's that really just really stick out for you.
It helps me calm the baby down. I will now demonstrate with a microphone. Works every time, most of the time.
60% of the time.
Every time.
100% of the time.
Watch me shush this baby.
It's actually Sean Connery.
Watch me shush this baby.
Watch me shush this baby. Yeah. So swaddling a baby, swaying the baby, shushing the baby, which is so basically what you want to do is it sort of explains that 4th trimester situation where the baby has just come out of the womb and it is a place that is loud and it moves all the time. And so
apparently the womb sounds like
yeah, exactly. So they want that. And so you give them that and then sucking, which, like any like grandma who's been around babies is like, give them a pacifier. And you're like, okay, cool. And babies love pacifiers. So anyway.
Do you remember when we took Wes to London and we were leaving a pub? First of all, yes, we went to a pub with our 1.5-year-old child. He was going to bed later because the time difference, and we had ourselves a beverage. Anyways, when we were leaving the pub, there was a man that ripped out the pacifier from Wes's mouth and said, "Babies shouldn't have dummies, huh?"
It's true.
And we were like, what?
Yeah. Okay. So I grew up in London, or I went to high school in London, and this was like our local pub, and that was the reason that I wanted to go.
Is the Swiss Cottage Station pub.
Very good.
If you know it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So our rental house was around there, and so and my mom was with us, and we were like, let's just go to the Swiss Cottage for like good old times.
Yeah.
Apparently,
dummies is the word for a word for pacifiers in Britain.
Yep.
And it is pacifiers help babies, but they aren't supposed to have them past a certain point of time because it's bad for their teeth, I think. I couldn't believe that someone ripped a pacifier out of my baby's mouth. It's like,
I know.
Don't touch my baby.
That was unreal. Ned went into like
so fast.
You went into like data bear mode. You were about to like beat him up.
Yeah. Oi!
Hey, don't touch my baby. God, it's like now just thinking about somebody touching our child, like, ugh.
Yeah.
At the time it was crazy, but now it's like germs.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so Happiest Baby.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10.
I know. I think it's a 9.
9.
Yeah. Has a summary. Was super effective.
It's a must read.
Must read.
Definitely.
Maybe the haiku doesn't do it justice, but it's up there.
I would say if you know things about babies, it's not a must read.
Right. Then you're just
pretty
living. You're
pretty
just a 10. You're straight dime. You as a person. So congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah.
That's right. What was that book that you read? I think it was called Healthy Sleep Habits, Happy Child.
Happy child. More like not so happy mom, dad. This book is tough. Works.
That's actually really good. That's a really good summary. Because that's what it is. It's a really intense book about that talks about crying it out. Which is, like
when I first heard that phrase, I was terrified. I was
right?
like, what do you mean? Horrifying, cry it out. And there's a spectrum of sleep interventions, and there's not really any evidence that anyone is like better or worse long term.
Right. It's really up to the parents about like what you feel is appropriate for your child.
Right.
And when we read this, well, actually, I didn't read it. Ned read it and gave me the summary. We kind of decided that this was a little much for us.
Well, I didn't. This is what I did.
This is
yeah.
Well, I think
you went to sleep.
Well, no, I couldn't handle
it.
I couldn't handle listening to him cry. No, you.
It was a little intense. I mean, they're pretty direct about it. I did like a modified version of it, but
right.
like, there's a difference. There's like pure crying it out where you just say, "Okay, good night," shut the door, and then like just leave all night. That felt pretty intense to me. Yeah. So I read this book about crying it out, which is really intense, and it talked about like time intervals where the first night you let them cry for like 5 minutes and then you go back in, then the next night 10 minutes, then you go back in, something like that. It was kind of like these intervals, and it only takes 3 nights, and then they sleep through the night really well, and they argue that there's no long-term damage to your relationship or your bond or anything like that, but the benefits that you'll get from finally sleeping through the night for both of you outweigh any of the risks, and it's more like it's just a short-term, really difficult for parents to do, but ultimately better for the baby. So when we were doing a version of this, we kind of combined this with the book ARIEL read, which I wouldn't recommend that you read 2 different books and then try and merge the philosophies.
We seem to have done this a lot.
Really bad, because I kept being like, "Oh no, ARIEL, we have to set a timer. The timer hasn't gone up yet."
And I said,
ARIEL's
no,
we have to go in with the ladder of intervention.
Exactly. No, we read 2 different books. We did this with potty training too, and it was really a disaster.
Yeah. It's as if we want to like divide and conquer with the total sum of human knowledge on the subject.
Exactly. Where there are so many books to be read, and not one of us cannot read all of them. And so we split them.
Bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
Don't do it.
It seems like a good idea at the time, but it's not. No. It's really not. No, I recommend the Happy Sleeper, which I think is based. So what we did was based slightly on the Fulmer method, which is that going in at intervals.
Yeah. It was so hard. Oh my God, it was so hard. I had to have a timer sitting in front of me and noise canceling headphones, because when you hear the baby cry, it's like your heart goes out and you're like, well, I have to go in right now, and it's really hard. The timer was the only way I could get through it, because I was like, no, it's going to be this. I'm going to wait for this amount of time, and then.
I remember when we were doing that, and the first night I wanted to be super supportive and I wanted to be there with you, and I was like, we're going to do this together, and then it I couldn't do it. It was so difficult for me, like physically.
Hearing
like,
the baby's crying.
I would hear the baby cry and like I would get like a letdown and basically like it would just, my whole body would just go into this like reaction mode. It was so nuts. Just like hormonal. I don't even know what was going on.
Throwing around chairs, moving them back and forth like crazy.
So I basically just had to put in, we decided together that this is what we're going to do. And you said, I got this. And I said, okay, I'm putting in earplugs. And I don't think I slept. And then I was so exhausted that I did sleep.
Right.
Yeah. But what was that like? How long did it take?
Took like 2 days. I mean, the crazy thing is it was actually super effective.
Yeah.
By the third night, he was sleeping through the night.
Right.
So it is possible if you're in this phase of your life and unsure of how to approach it, like you can do it. And also, if it's not for you, you don't have to do it.
Right.
There's other intervention methods that are more gentle, and they take a lot longer, but they are it's kind of like it's up to you what you want to do. But yeah, for me, having the actual time limits and writing out what my plan was going to be made it the only way that I could do it. I don't think I could just completely cry it out and just shut the door on him, but kind of going in at intervals.
Right. And it started at like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
60 seconds.
Yeah, right. You don't just jump up to 5 minutes off.
Yeah, no, and the first night you didn't even make it to 5 minutes. He was asleep by the time, like, and I think, we're talking about these time intervals, but talk about some of the like reasoning behind this sort of interval training.
It's all about self-soothing. You want to teach the baby how to fall asleep on their own. How to, it's also something that you use as an adult, right? If you wake up in the middle of the night and you have a bad dream, or if you're stressed out before bed, you have ways, or at least you try to have ways that help calm your body down.
And some people are better than others. And some of these books argue that those skills actually come from infancy.
Yeah, which is kind of nuts to think of.
Right.
So that was something that kept me going. I was like, oh, okay, I'm doing this to like help my child. Like I'm teaching him these skills and letting him calm down on his own. And then doing like the ladder is where you like have like increasingly more like, how would you say? It's like you're increasingly, the ladder is all about building the amount of intervention you're having over time, so that you don't just jump right in and start like rocking him and soothing him. You start with like a pat on the back, and then you do like, stand there and rub for a little bit. So you're trying to get him to fall asleep without you having to rock him or having to basically do it for him. And that's one thing that's really tricky about the snoo.
Right.
Is you spend $1,400 on this fancy sleeper and the baby becomes addicted to it.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what we've heard, is that, if you use this magical product, it works, and it works great. But then you go to take them out of the bassinet. Maybe they outgrow the weight limit for the bassinet or whatever reason. You have to get them out.
I'd love to be a 180-pound boy just getting slung back and forth in a little just rocking wheel.
Tighten your little throttle. Yeah. But it comes to be time to let go of the bassinet, and you have to move to a crib, or you have to move to, whatever. And you can't put yourself to sleep. What if we used it for like 6 weeks? But the thing is, it's not worth the price at 6 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like this could be another trending product review. We have the company pay for it.
Fair enough. Well, you can also rent these. So that's another thing is
Seems like a good thing for a rental model.
Yeah, you can rent these bassinets.
Only gonna use it for a couple months.
Yeah, use it while you absolutely need the sleep. When you're up every 90 minutes anyway, because you're feeding and you're just trying to get through the night, and you don't need to be like walking around like a zombie trying to shush a baby.
Yeah.
Here is this product that works to do that. And so I don't know, maybe there's a middle ground. What do you think
about this new?
Yeah.
I still don't really, I need to do more research on it. It seems like it worked out pretty good the first time. I don't see why we need this thing, but this is the first time hearing of it, really.
No. I've been thinking about it a lot.
Oh, okay. I will say that even though we were doing the sleep training thing and I kind of developed some skills and kind of phasing out and basically I was better at letting him cry than you were,
yes.
right? Now
you still are.
Let's fast forward to here 2020 week 25 pregnancy, Wes screaming at the toddler bed. Now I'm just the biggest softie, and now that he's older, it's like he's not a baby. He could remember this. So
exactly.
Now I'm doing everything I can to just make it comfortable for him. So much so that when Wes was stressed out about the toddler bed, my answer was, let me get in there with you. And we're going to snuggle with daddy for 5 minutes and then I'll leave. And we've been doing that for the last 2 weeks. And it's wonderful.
It is wonderful, I know.
He says, snuggle daddy 5 minutes, then daddy leave. And then we'll just cuddle in there. I say, okay, we're turning off the lights, done with the book. And then we just cuddle there and we'll talk about our days. Or sometimes we'll just giggle.
He's very talkative
he'll just
right now.
Tell me things, just run through different memories of things that happened.
Yeah.
There's the yellow thing. There's this one's scary. This one better.
Like a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
or there's went hiking, daddy stepped in poo-poo. Those are just 3 memories that he has. I'll let you fill in the gaps as to what you think they are.
He has a sort of a repeating, and these all happened weeks ago.
Yeah. And so, I think there's room for a lot of different things. And also I think that now after we snuggle, when I leave, he is able to fall asleep because he's had that groundwork of being able to self-soothe for this entire time.
Right.
We as soon as I leave, after a couple of nights where it was pretty tough, I haven't had to go back in there at all. No. He's just comfortable in his new big boy bed.
Well, I will say there have been times that he has woken up in the middle of the night and you just refuse to get out of bed. This morning being one of them.
That's true.
This morning being one of them. Wes usually sleeps in until about 6:30, but he was up at about 5 a.m. this morning.
Right.
And he was yelling "Mama, Mama!" And usually Ned kind of handles from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. because because I wake up with him, and so when Mama goes in there, Wes knows it's time to be awake.
Right.
So I went in this morning, right?
Yeah.
And Wes just sort of looks at me and he was like, I dropped my lovey. And I said, oh, you dropped your lovey. Okay, I'm so sorry. So I put it back in the bed and I said, can I tuck you in? And he was like, yeah, you tuck me in. Then Mama go back to Mama bed. And I was like, that's right. Mama's going to go back to her bed.
That's
yeah, no,
Mensa level shit right there.
He's thinking on a different level. And the thing is, if you just explain to him what's going on, it's I explained to him, I said, Wes, it's not light yet. And we can't get out of our bed until it's light outside. Okay. Mama's going to go back to her bed. Wesley's going to sleep in his bed. Here's your lovey. Here's your pillow. I'm going to tuck you in. And he went right back to sleep. He's so good at sleeping now that if he is calling for us, he's already tried. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
This all goes through my head
as you're
I'm
sprinting down the
to
hallway.
him. Well, actually, no. It goes through my head as I'm like, Ned, go get him.
Do not do that to me.
You're right. I just wake you
exaggerating
up.
for the podcast.
Well, I try to get you up, and you're like, no. Yes.
No.
You are such a heavy sleeper. You are not a morning
way.
person. You are not a morning person. That is why I take the mornings, is because you are so ridiculously bad at being a morning person. I adore you. You're an amazing father.
I thought it was because I took the evenings. I can wake up in the morning.
That just sort of settled like that. No, it just sort of settled like that, where I was like, yeah, well, since I take the morning, Ned takes the evenings, and that's just what we do. Because there was definitely a time when you would like work late and I would be doing the evenings and the mornings, and there were mornings when I was like, you do it. You go.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's one of my clutches. If I'm like, if I've stayed out a little too late with the boys, the secret is to wake your ass up the next morning and be like, oh baby, I'll take care of the baby this morning, and you're so tired, but you've earned all the brownie points in the world.
I will say that is a great trick.
If you've gotten 5.5 hours of sleep, it doesn't matter, because your wife wakes up at 8. It's like, wow, I slept so well. Thank you. This is wonderful. Hey, did you have fun with the boys last night? And you're like, yes. And also, how many minutes is it till nap time?
All right. Yes, everybody take note.
That's a trick for the boys out there.
That's a great trick. Because you're so true. That works on me every time. If you're like, I got this.
Honey, I got this. Spoiler alert, I don't got this, but we'll pretend.
Ned, what are we going to do when we have 2?
I know. It's not going to be shifts anymore. It's going to be just like man on man guarding.
Right.
I don't know. I thought of a basketball metaphor. It's like, instead of zone, we're playing man, but I don't think we've been watching that Michael Jordan documentary. I mean, man, if only we were as driven as parents as that guy was about basketball. Moving on. Yeah, we're going to each have to take a baby.
Well, yeah.
And I think
one takes a baby, one takes a toddler.
I've heard from my friends who have 2 kids that usually the mom takes the younger one, right, and the dad takes the older one. Well, stay tuned to see what happens. We are at 25 weeks. We've got 15 more to go, but judging by how things are going, as if we make it to 15, even if we make it to 10 more weeks, 11.
If we make it to 11 weeks, I will be very happy.
I'll be very happy too. Yeah.
11 more weeks. Yeah.
We got this.
Thanks
for listening to Baby Steps.
I would love to know what other sleep books are out there that people just swear by. Yeah. These were the 3 that we kind of fell upon. One was Gifted. I think that was the Weissbluth one.
Right.
It was like a friend of your mom's was like, we did this and you should too. And so we were like, okay.
Very common of friends of mothers to be very adamant about that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, leave a note in the comments what your favorite book or method is. Please be nice to each other. There's a lot of different ways to do sleep training, and
every kid is different.
Raise a baby.
And some things work, some things don't. It really just depends on the parents and the kids.
Right. It's up to your individual preferences. And thanks for listening, and thanks for sending in your crazy stories and the 5-star reviews. Keep doing it. We're going to read some next time. And also next time, we're going to go through our Google history to see what we've Googled about our babies and lives.
We'll see how far back we can go.
Yeah.
I remember doing that a lot in those early days.
A lot of Googling. Yeah,
we'll do it again.
Do a time capsule of just 2 years ago. What sort of stuff were we Googling?
Yeah, and what are we Googling now?
Yeah.
Is it okay to eat a little bit of poop? I think the answer is maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Depending on what you ate.
Yeah.
But we will Google it for you, dear listeners.
We'll see you next Sunday.